Don't know if our Welcome back to the Tan and Jman show. I am the Jman. Tanner is off surfing in Hawaii. I know he told me today that they went to the where they filmed Jurassic Park. So he's having fun in Hawaii. Yesterday they went to Pearl Harbor. So I am vicariously living through him and very jealous of him this week. But I have my dad, Dan Mundt, on with me tonight to do the show. He's been on a handful of times. How you doing tonight, Dad?
Hey, I'm doing good. Happy Labor Day, and boy, I envy Tanner, big time. Hawaii,
Yeah, you've been to Hawaii a couple times.
I have.
I've never been. I've always liked to go, but I know he was complaining because it was ended up being like 10 hours total in the air for him because they flew through Seattle.
Yeah, that's the only challenge with Hawaii.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to the Caribbean in 3 hours, but Hawaii, I mean, it's 10 or 12 hours depending on layovers and that. But it's beautiful when you get there, that's for sure.
Definitely. So hope he's having a good time. He will not be with us again next week, and I will have a different guest on next week. I need to figure out who that's going to be, but we will have somebody else on. But before we get any further into it, I do have Birdie Bogey for you tonight. It is a Cubs-related question, and it's a World Series in 2016 related question.
All right.
So everyone remembers Mike Montgomery recorded the final out in the 10th inning, but who started that inning for the Cubs on the mound? Because there was a different pitcher on the mound to start, and he got the first two guys on, then he walked a guy, and then he gave up an RBI single, which then Joe Madden ended up bringing Mike Montgomery into the game. And I think he only threw two pitches and got the out. And I actually remember hearing a story how Montgomery said that his first warm-up pitch in the bullpen, he threw about 36 feet and he spiked it over the bullpen catcher's head. And he's like, I have absolutely nothing tonight. But they still used him and ended up getting the final out. But
sometimes the pressure comes on and those guys know how to step up.
Yeah, the adrenaline I'm sure was pumping, and that's why he didn't throw a fastball. I think he threw two curveballs, and that was it because he had nothing with his fastball. But Birdie or Bogey is brought to you by Arlington Public House for good cuisine, cocktails, located 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana. Check them out downtown there on Main Street. Fantastic food. As I said, my dad's with me tonight, and we'll talk some baseball to start off, and then we'll give our confidence points for the Big Ten and kind of recap the week that was. Then we'll hit into our first picks of the NFL season, the Week 1 confidence picks. And it feels weird that the season's starting this upcoming week because we usually do the NFL preview show, and we are not doing it because we did it last week. So it's kind of a weird feeling, but looking forward to the NFL season. But before we get any further, baseball talk. The Cubs, it started very good on the road trip in the West Coast. You sweep the Angels, and you're feeling good coming into it because you won like 8 of your last 10. Then they go to San Francisco, and for the first time all year, they got swept in a 3-game series. They're one of just 2 teams to have not been swept in a 3-game series this year. And the funny thing was both teams got swept the exact same week. The Reds, wow. Yeah, the Reds got swept last week as well against they get swept by, I forget who, the Dodgers. They're in LA. So all the good that was kind of built up after winning, 6 of 7 games or 6 of 8 games, winning 3 out of 5 against Milwaukee, and then sweeping the Angels was kind of completely undone by their pretty embarrassing play in San Francisco, which it's been a spot that they've struggled in really ever since they built that ballpark back in like 2001. So that stunk, but then they go to Colorado and they win the first 2 there, and then yesterday they came back from 5 down 5-2. Ian Happ hit a 3-run homer, and then Daniel Plinsky comes in and gives up, I think he gave up a single and then a triple to end it. So anytime you lose a game to a team that's 50 games under 500, it stings, regardless of where it's played at. So a 5-4 road trip in a vacuum is fine, but the way it happened was not very fun.
Yeah. The good thing about all that is we didn't lose a lot of ground. I mean, I think we lost a game over Brewers, which I'm not even concerned about I'm not even concerned about the division anymore. But still, I think we only lost a game and a half. We didn't lose anything in the wild card.
Yeah, they actually gained a couple games in the wild card because the Reds had been so bad. So they saw their lead balloon to 10 games in the wild card and they have a greater than 99.9% chance to make the playoffs now, which is good.
Yeah, that's really good.
They still have to win games, but
since we're talking about Cubs, can I give you a quick update because I have it on a TV a little ways from me?
Sure.
Kelly just hit a 2-run home run, so it's 6-6 in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out.
It's tied, huh? Nice.
Tie ball game, yeah.
I mean, they were down 6-1 just a few innings ago, so maybe they can come back and win this one, and it'll spark a hot streak for them. I've been saying that
would be nice.
I've been saying that for 6 weeks, though. Anytime they win any sort of game, I've been saying maybe that's the one that gets them going, and it hasn't. Now, again, Tanner and I have talked about it. They haven't played that bad. It's just the Brewers were just so on fire that it felt worse. Like August felt like a terrible month for the Cubs, and they went 15-14. They're still over 500.
Yeah.
So, and Jed Hoyer said it today, which kind of annoyed me, but at the same time, he's right. He goes, at the beginning of the year, if you see where we're at, you take that 100% of the time, and that's fine. And I agree with that. He's right, but it still felt like a loser mentality, like he was kind of making an excuse like, well, what else do you want from me? I put us in a position to, make playoffs. Well, you didn't do anything at the trade deadline. You look at your trade deadline acquisitions, Soroka threw 30 pitches, and he might be coming back in a few weeks, but when he comes back in a few weeks, you're going to have 10 games left. What's that going to do? Willie Castro's been terrible. He was the guy I was most excited about, but he's played everywhere, which is great, but he hasn't hit. Yeah. Taylor Rogers was terrible today, I think, wasn't he? He gave up a few runs. Was that the guy who came in, the lefty?
Yeah, I wasn't watching then. I know Ray wasn't very good today. But,
no, I saw Rogers was in, and there was 2 outs and 2 guys on with him pitching, and it was 3-1. And next I checked, it was 6-1. So I don't know if he's the one that gave him
up. I
think
you're right.
Andrew Kittredge, Craig loves him. He puts him in about every single game, and I don't think he's been very good.
Yeah,
he's been kind of underwhelming. So I hated that statement by Jed. You take this 100% of the time. Yes, that's great, but it still feels like you're just happy with kind of getting in more so than putting an actual World Series champion caliber team together.
Yeah, and I think the hardest thing is we saw early on what this team could be offensively.
Definitely.
And I would be concerned about the pitching at this stage, but the pitching's been really, really pretty good. But their offense has just disappeared. But you got Tucker, you got Happ, you got PCA, you got Bush was struggling, Seiya was struggling big time.
Yeah.
So, and then Carson, he just did a home run, but
he needed that. Yeah,
Cubs need the catchers to get on fire a little bit because both catchers have been bad offensively.
Yeah, so. McGuire had the good 3 weeks when he first came up, but he hasn't done anything since. I know he had a grand slam in L.A., but other than that, he hasn't done much of anything. Kelly's been one of the worst hitters in baseball over the past 3 weeks. Tucker's definitely over the past
turned it on.
10 days or so, he's turned it on. I think he's hitting close to 400. He's hitting the ball to the ballpark again. The guy who's been the worst qualified hitter in Major League Baseball, according to OPS, in the month of August by 30 points has been Pete Crow Armstrong. His OPS
he's been bad.
Is below 500 in the month of August.
So is he just coming back to maybe meme out, or is he?
Yeah.
I mean, is it just a slump?
I mean, what he did in the first half, I don't know if we'll ever see him have a half like that again. I mean, he was incredible. So I think there is some regressing to the mean. going on. Now he's obviously not as bad as he's been this half, but I do think it's coming back to where like his numbers might end up be typically, because he's only 2 homers away from a 30-30 season, and I don't think anyone projected him to hit 30 homers ever in a major league season, and he might never again if he does get there this year, which they need him to get there. But he's been in a bad slump, but it's been weird. He's chasing less, which is great because which is crazy that he's chasing less because he's still swinging at everything. But in the first half, he was making contact with pitches that were about bouncing. He was hitting them 400 feet out of the ballpark. Pitches at his chin, he was hitting out of the ballpark. But the thing that's been kind of concerning is he's hitting under 200 in the month of August on fastballs. Yeah. Which guys hit over 300. Pretty much everyone hits over 300 on fastballs at the major league level. So even we saw it over the weekend, he was getting a 93 mile an hour pitch, right in his happy zone, and he's just a little late or he's just a little off. And hopefully that can turn around because they needed to in September.
Well, maybe he's a little distracted. I heard today that his girlfriend is pregnant.
Oh, really? Oh, he might be a little bit.
It's true. It's Facebook, so you never.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? Maybe it's somebody making that up.
No, I think it was on a Cubs site somewhere. So anyway,
I have not seen that anywhere, but that would be a distraction for sure. But I'm sure he would never use
Pete
that.
Crow, if he just gets on base, he's going to help the team because defensively he's amazing. Although he's had a few,
it's been
in the outfield too.
In Colorado, he dropped a line drive, which was strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's had some moments here the past couple weeks that just was not typical Pete Crow Armstrong in center.
Today he overran a ball and literally had to stop and dive backwards, and he was very lucky to catch the ball. But he overran it. Everybody's going, "What did you do?" Maybe the wind was blowing it. I don't know.
He's had some moments like that. That's been weird.
I agree.
And they need to give him a day off, which I think that's why they called Kevin Alcantara up, because he can play all over the outfield. He can play center field. He's mashed lefties. He's the best lefty masher in the system. So against tough lefties, which I think Cubs do have to face Chris Sale this week, which is brutal. They had to face Spencer Strider, and they'll have to face Chris Sale. You play a bad team and you face their two, aces, Cy Young caliber pitching. That's the way it goes. But Alcantara is more valuable to have up than an Owen Casey is. Because of his defensive versatility, and the fact that he hits lefties, where Casey was rotting on the bench.
I think they talked about that at the beginning of the game today. PCA's had 3 days off. I think 3 days off this year or this half. I can't remember what it is, but he's not had too many, and you got to give a guy a day off.
Even when they do give him a day off, it seems like every game's been close and you want him in there for his defense anyway. So he hasn't gotten an actual day off.
Yep.
Or very rare day off. Now it's nice they do have Willie Castro where he's been able to spell, Nico Horner. And then Nico can go over to short, and Dansby Swanson can get a day off. Tucker can get a day off. Happ can get a day off. PCA, now he started for PCA, but again, PCA has probably played every single game. It's nice to have versatility like that, but especially down the stretch, because you're not in any danger. It'd be an epic collapse to miss the playoffs at this point. So in the division, Brewers were winning last I checked today. So if you lose this one, you're 7.5 back, I think.
Yeah, it's over. I think
a month to play. It's probably over anyway.
Right.
So it'd be smart to start giving your guys some rest, because the big thing now is you want that top wild card, because that means you get to host the series. Then you likely get to go to Milwaukee, who you're very, very familiar with, and Milwaukee has had many, many implosions in the postseason, and they'll probably start feeling it again.
They're the only team that has beat Milwaukee this year.
Yeah, they won the season series. And during that stretch where the Brewers were unbelievable, I think they were 3-4 against the Cubs, and against everyone else, they were like 20-4. Yeah. So, and again, Cubs know them very, very well. And of course, the Brewers know them very well as well.
Yeah.
That'd be a decent position to be in. I know they were 2 games up on the Padres for that top wild card spot, and again, they're 8 up or 8.5 up right now. If Cubs win today, it'll be 9 up on the Reds. So go hard after the top wild card spot. I mean, on paper you have an easy schedule, but again, Braves are 13 games under 500, and obviously they're still a scary team. What's happening now? Anything happening?
Braves have a guy on. There's 2 outs in the ninth, so I'm going for a walk-off here.
All right. But
Albies is up now, so they have a hard time getting Albies out.
Albies had a terrible year, but he is one of the biggest Cub killers. He's hitting like over 400 in his career, near 400 against them. He's been crazy against them. But then they have the Nationals this weekend, who are bad. You need to sweep these teams at home. You have to.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for them. And then I know they still have Tampa Bay, I believe, because they have not faced Tampa Bay, and they still have to go to Atlanta. And then they get the Mets and Reds and Cardinals and Pirates still. So there's still a decent amount of series left. My mind always goes to worst case scenario that they're going to end up blowing it. But
I know they have a 4-game series against the Reds, and Reds play them hard in Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, hopefully by that time Reds will be out of it, because it is, I think, the second to last or the last series of the year. It might be the last series. No, I think
you're right.
I think Cubs end with St. Louis.
They do. It's right before that, I think.
So because I know they have I think the Mets second to last series, and then the Reds are the third to last. So Reds will probably still be playing for something at that point, which makes them scary. Other than that, Cubs just need to they just need to worry about themselves, and they just need to win. That's the reality of the situation.
So Cubs made some pretty big moves today. I mean, can you explain all those? Because I know there's call up. I know they went out and got a guy off waivers, 2 guys off waivers.
Yeah.
Where is their roster spots for these guys? That's what I don't understand.
So you can add 2 guys to your roster. You can add with the September call-ups, you can have 28 guys on your active roster. It used to be 40. You could have up to 40.
Right.
And no team would ever hold 40. They'd usually go up to 31, 32. 28, I'm glad. And Jim Deshaies was like a proponent of getting rid of the 40-man call-up rule, because he's like, why in September are you making it easier on teams that are fighting? I mean, you can give guys more days off. You can, it helps with bullpen management. Why are you making it easier on teams in September when it should be getting more difficult because you're fighting for playoff spots? So I know they called Casey down. They brought Kevin Alcantara up. They signed Carlos Santana, fantastic veteran first baseman. He's 39 years old now. I mean, he's been around for 17 seasons, most notably with the Cleveland Indians at that time. And he was with the Guardians earlier in the year. And they just released him to give him an opportunity to play for a contender since they're out of it. But good veteran clubhouse, great defensive first baseman. You don't say that about too many, bench guys. And he's hit lefties fairly well in his career. He's a guy that'll just pretty much pinch hit at this point. He's not honestly that much different than Justin Turner.
I was going to say, you got Turner.
Yeah, and holding a guy like that's easier when you can have more players on your roster too.
Right. Now, is he a switch hitter too?
Yep, he's a switch hitter.
Okay.
I read a story about him when he was with the Phillies in 2019. The Phillies were struggling in September, and like they just were kind of having a bad September. And he went in there with a baseball bat and destroyed all their PlayStations because they were playing they're playing video games too much in September in the middle of a pennant race. So that's kind of the veteran he is, kind of no nonsense. This is what we're going to be doing, which you kind of like, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why he's there, because he's a fantastic clubhouse guy. And then they picked up Aaron Savali off of waivers from the White Sox today. Just
pitched really good today.
Yeah, good depth, because they needed more depth. Because for one, Matt Boyd has thrown more innings this year than he has in any previous 2 years combined over the last 6 seasons. So, and it sure feels like he's hitting a wall a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you have Cade Horton, who has not pitched, a ton of innings over the past couple years, especially last year. He's hit the most innings he's thrown in pro ball this year, and he's been unbelievable for him And so it's just assurance for him too, in case he does wear down, or you need to yank him after 4. Just having a guy like Savali there.
Right. Well, they go to a 6-man rotation just to give guys rest. I mean, I know they have a day off this week.
Yeah, day offs obviously help, but I have a hard time with 6-man rotations because it kind of gets guys off their rhythm a little bit.
Yeah,
and I've never seen really a 6-man rotation work. The Phillies are going to one, though. They signed Walker Buehler, who had a disastrous season for the Red Sox this year, and they released him just a few days ago. And he signed with the Phillies, and it sounds like Phillies are going to go with a 6-man rotation here for a little while because Zach Wheeler's out for the year with I think they called it thoracic outlet syndrome. He had a blood clot in his shoulder, which is scary.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it turned into something else. I think the blood clot's under control, but it's something else, and he's out for the season, so they needed more depth there. But yeah, I mean, Savali can start. Obviously, Ben Brown can start. Yeah, I mean, the issue is who's starting game 1 of a postseason series right now. I mean, Shota's been great. I'd go with Shota at this point, but Boyd's had a fantastic year. But again, it feels like he's hitting the wall. Honestly, Horton might be your guy if you want to do that.
Guy,
he seems like a bulldog out there too, and would be unfazed by the moment. Speaking of Cade Horton, I mean, everyone remembers Jake Arrieta's unbelievable second half. In 2015. I mean, arguably the greatest second half in the history of baseball as far as pitching goes. Well, Arrieta's first 8 starts after the All-Star break, he went 6-1 with a 1.20 ERA. Cade Horton, in his first 8 starts after the All-Star break this year, is 6-1 with a 0.86 ERA.
Wow, that's incredible as a rookie too.
Yep, as a rookie, he's been their best pitcher, arguably, and he's throwing 98 miles an hour. Now Arrieta had a lot more innings because you could actually he was a workhorse anyway, and he was a veteran where he could handle it. Where Horton's not going into the 6th very often, but still that's incredible, and he's been kind of their savior. He's been kind of their savior there. He's been the guy you want to stop, losing streaks if they're on one.
Right.
What's anything happening in the Cubs game now?
It's the bottom of the 9th. Looks like Nico Horner and Santana is going to hit. So,
cool.
They got a right-handed pitcher in. So,
all right.
Yeah, no, it's Shaw, and now it looks like Santana's coming in for Bush, which I'm not sure why he would
against a righty. Huh?
Oh, Turner was in. That's right.
Oh,
Turner came in for Bush. Yeah,
that makes sense. Bush. But again, it's Santana's fantastic defensively at first, which is not something you really talk about. But
I'm glad they got him in right away.
Yeah, me too. Elsewhere around baseball, Phillies have a 6-game lead on the Mets. Mets have still not played very good baseball. They're 4 up on the Reds, though.
They do this every year, it seems like.
They do. Yeah, and they're
fall apart.
Pitching's been the issue for them, which everyone's talking about how good their pitching had been. But it's been bad. Padres are still only 2 games behind the Dodgers. The Mariners are only 2 games behind the Houston Astros. Tigers are pretty close to locking that thing up already. They're 9.5 up on the Royals, and then the Blue Jays are 3 games up on the Yankees, and Boston's just 3.5 behind. But I have a kind of interesting stat here. Aaron Judge his 358th career home run, which tied Yogi Berra for 5th in Yankees history. The Yankees' top 5 all-time home run leaderboard had not changed since August 7th, 1957.
Wow.
They've had the same top 5 guys for, almost 70 years at this point.
Yeah.
68 years. So that was an incredible stat.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then, there was all that talk about Aaron Judge versus Cal Raleigh for the MVP. And I think Judge has pretty much locked it up because over Cal Raleigh's last 50 games, 219 at bats, he's only hitting 185. He's still hitting homers. I mean, he's up to 50. I mean, he broke the all-time. I think he's broke the all-time catcher record already. Maybe not, but he is at 50. I think he has because Sal Perez had it, and he had 48 a couple years ago. So that's unbelievable.
Who would you compare to Judge in history? I mean, he's got to be real close to. I mean, we were talking about Trout and Harper and all these. Yeah. I think he's far and above anyone now. I mean, even Ohtani.
Yeah, if he would have started his if he would have been called up to like the major leagues at 21, 22, I think we'd be getting close to talking about him being the greatest right-handed hitter ever.
Yeah.
But he didn't really get a chance till he was 25 because he was a college guy, and then he went through the minors, and of course the Yankees have had so many good players that they didn't really need him. And then he was terrible for the first. I think he was a September call-up, and he wasn't very good, but they gave him a shot to start the year, and that's when he had an unbelievable rookie year. And he's interesting though because he's 33. He's had some injuries, and guys start breaking down once they hit early 30s. And he's so big though; he's 6'7", 290 pounds, and it seems like that body type wouldn't. It wouldn't maybe not last very long, but it wouldn't age very well. But I mean, and again, he's had some injury issues, but it would seem like he'd stop hitting eventually, and he just hasn't. He's had an unbelievable year, and I think he'll win MVP again.
Yeah.
He's
awful good.
He's hard to compare to anyone because of how big he is. He maybe like I don't know, Frank Howard back in the day was 6'7", 280, but he was nowhere near the hitter Aaron Judge is now.
Now, is Judge a basketball player or football player? I mean, he's got a tight end type body.
I don't know. He went to Fresno State and was a first-round pick out of Fresno State, late first-round pick. Like he was like 27th, 28th overall. In 2013, it was the same draft Chris Bryant was in because it was always in a redraft. Who would you take in number one? Would it have been Judge or Bryant? Well, it's clearly Aaron Judge now. But for the first 5 or 6 years, it probably would have been KB. Would have been the guy you want.
You're right.
Yeah, it's an interesting career he's had. Aaron Judge and Chris Bryant for that fact. But let's see here. Anything else baseball wise I want to hit on?
Just update: 2 outs. Shaw got a hit, and then Santana struck out. Tucker popped up, and now Suzuki's up.
With the guy on first.
Shaw's on first still.
Cubs have scored 4 runs or less in, let's see how that would be, 17 of their last 21.
Really?
Games.
Wow. And they were, I mean, it was normal to have 7 runs a night, 8 runs a night. For a while, they led the majors in runs.
Yeah. If they score 4 runs or more, their record this month is like 15-3 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just, and it's honestly incredible. They've been 15-14 is a very good record for how they've actually played this month.
Right.
Because it could have been a disaster. They could be way under 500. But again, pitching's kept them in. Bullpen's been good for the most part. Rotation's been good.
How much does run differential? Because Brewers have the largest, but for the long time, Cubs were just run differential. Now I think they're second in run differential.
The Brewers' run differential coming into today is plus 163. Cubs right now is 117 coming into today. So
but I think they're second actually.
I think they still are second.
Yeah.
Brewers have passed them for total runs this season. They have 27
with no home
which
run
is crazy.
hitters, or very few.
Yeah, they don't really hit the ball out of the ballpark, but they make contact. They steal a ton of bases too, which helps.
Yep.
But
you're right.
Anything else you want to talk about baseball?
I don't think so. I think we covered it pretty good. Probably covered more of the Cubs than some of your fans want to hear, but
that's fine. That's what we do every week anyway. Cubs record by month this year: they were 3-4 in March, 15-9 in April, 18-9 in May, 13-13 in June, 14-10 in July, and 15-14 in August. So they've been just barely above mediocre really since the start of June. So it's not a good. Now you play so well in April and May, you build up some goodwill a little bit.
That's right.
You can survive bad stretches, and really the stretch hasn't been bad. They're 6 games over 5 games over 500 since the start of June, which is okay. It's mediocre at best, but at least they haven't been awful. Like they didn't have a month like they did the past 2 years in May when they went 8-19 or 9-20 or something like that. So they've been able to survive rough stretches.
Wins in April means something.
Yeah, they do, and they
really do.
Yeah, and like the past couple of years, I've seen guys on Twitter saying, well, you got to find out what you have in these guys. You got to let Chris Morrell just kind of figure it out at third. And I think the team's not good enough to figure it out if you're losing ball games. Like you still have to kind of chase wins in April and May. You got to continue to do that and win every single game you possibly can, just in case you have a bad stretch in August where you can kind of build up some capital where you don't need, to be perfect every single time out.
Right.
Which has been their issue the past couple of years. They had that hot stretch before the trade deadline 2 years ago, which is why they ended up trading for Jman Candelario, and they had a great stretch and ended up taking the lead in the wild card for a few weeks and then choking it away the final week and a half of the season.
Yep.
But again, if they wouldn't have gone, 9-18 in May, they would have been in. So you can blame it on the choke job in September all you want, but you play a little better in May, you won't have to worry about that.
Wouldn't have to worry about it. Yep. Absolutely.
That's the thing that kind of annoys me sometimes. But
I
think that's going to do it for baseball. I'm going to do On This Day now, which is brought to you by Mooney Wood Laser Crafts. Tanner sent me the read, and every single time I forget to actually bring it up to read it. So hopefully I'm going to be able to bring it up here before we go any further. Let's see. Tanner. But anyway, on this day in, not a whole lot. It's a lot of baseball, a lot of college football this week. On this day in 1931, future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig hit his third grand slam in 4 days, which is pretty incredible. I think he did have the all-time record for grand slams at one point. I know Manny Ramirez was hot on his trail there for a while. I don't know if he ended up passing him or not.
Manny. He was a great hitter.
Manny being Manny.
Yep.
Let's see here if Tanner sent me the read, and I might have just missed it anyway. He might not have even sent it to me. Anyway, I can figure it out. On this day in 1958, St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Vinegar Bend Meisel walked an NL record 9 batters. He would not be let in to walk 9 batters in today's game.
That's incredible.
That's pretty bad.
And how many innings, I wonder?
I don't know, but they won 1-0. He won 1-0. Yeah.
Wow.
They shut out the Cincinnati Reds. I don't know how that's possible. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
On this day in 1964, San Francisco Giants reliever Masanori Murakami became the first Japanese-born player to appear in Major League Baseball.
Interesting.
So 1964, yeah. On this day in 1971, the Pittsburgh Pirates start what is believed to be the first all African-American lineup. That makes no sense because it includes several Latinos in MLB history. Include Hall of Famers Roberto Clemente and Willie Stargell. On this day in 1973, not a whole lot. 1975, New York Mets pitcher Tom Seaver shut out the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-0, and they were he was the first to reach 200 strikeouts for an MLB record, 8 straight seasons.
Wow. He was good.
Yeah. On this day in 1984, Willie Totten of Mississippi Valley State threw for a Division I AA record 536 yards and 9 touchdowns in an 86-0 win versus Kentucky State. The interesting part about this is Jerry Rice was his top receiver.
Wow.
And Jerry Rice caught 17 balls for 294 yards and 5 touchdowns that day.
That's incredible.
Which broke his own Division I AA record for total yardage and pass receptions.
That's what you call facing no defense.
Yeah. I'm sure Jerry Rice is pretty tough to face for those non-Division I defensive backs.
No doubt.
Pretty tough. On this day in 1996, the Baltimore Ravens made their NFL debut.
Interesting.
Let's see.
That was when they came from Cleveland.
Yep. On this day in 2001, facing 4-time Cy Young Award winner Greg Maddux, Cubs slugger Sammy Sosa hits the longest home run in Turner Field It was 471 feet to straightaway center. That was a tough place to hit homers. Now it's easy to hit homers in Atlanta. On this day in 2006, Roger Goodell began his tenure as NFL commissioner. He's been around 19 years. All right, I think he's been there longer than Tagliabue.
Crazy.
Yeah, Tagliabue was.
Wow.
Let's see if we got any more on this day in. Nope, that's going to do it for on this day, maybe. Yep, on this day. It's brought to you by Mooney Wood Laser Crafts. Christmas is coming, so go to contact Mooney Wood Laser Crafts to make you some cool stuff. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry, Mooney, I lost the read. So, what do you want to talk first? You want to talk Big Ten or you want to talk NFL?
I'd say let's go with the Big Ten real quick.
All right. Big Ten over the week. Obviously, the big game was Texas, Ohio State, and what ended up being kind of a boring one. Final score of 14-7. Was that the final score? I think, or 17-10.
I think it was. Yeah.
But yeah, Arch Manning looked rough for Texas. He looked like a guy that had faced a bunch of 2A players, and because that's the division he played in high school. It was a 2A high school. So,
wow.
And I've seen video, and they look like 2A players he was playing against. So it's a little different going from that to facing the Ohio State Buckeyes in the big house. Not in the big house.
By the way, they have a former NFL coach and defensive coordinator that he's got to face in defense,
Yes. Yeah. Not easy to do that. But at the same time, he looked very inaccurate, and his mechanics looked bad. His footwork looked bad. I doubt it lasts the rest of the year, but I think they crowned him a little too early.
I do too.
There is, the Heisman favorite coming in. He started 2 games last year against, Louisiana, Monroe, and somebody else that was bad. So that doesn't help him either, that he's getting crowned this and he goes out and plays poorly. But then you just kind of pump the brakes a little bit on that one.
Right.
But elsewhere around the Big Ten, we had Nebraska survive against Cincinnati. Let's see if there was any other good games. Utah blew out UCLA, but other than that, it was kind of all, for the most part, blowouts. Rutgers was in a close one against Ohio that they won. But not great matchups this week, and it's not that great this upcoming week either.
Right.
Once we get into week 3 is kind of rough too, but week 4 is kind of when it heats up, where you have the conference matchups and
Big Ten,
that come into play, which is kind of nice. But let's go around and do our confidence picks. I'm gonna pull up the national as well to see what top 25 matchups we got.
Okay.
Maybe the best game of the weekend that I personally watched was actually last night with Notre Dame and Miami.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game.
The guy for Miami made an unbelievable catch right before halftime for a touchdown, one-handed catch. But Miami starts out 1-0, and Notre Dame is 0-1, which is what I like to see a lot. But
I think they'll both be okay. I think Notre Dame will be fine.
I think they'll be fine. Their young quarterback Carr really settled in and played pretty well in the second half, I thought. But you have a Heisman candidate at running back, and I don't think they ran it as much as they should have.
I agree.
So, but starting on, I think this game's Friday night. We have Western Illinois at Northwestern.
Western Illinois at Western. I have 11 on Northwestern.
I have Northwestern for 10, so we're right there. Okay. We watched Western Illinois on Friday night, and they're bad.
They're bad. But Northwestern wasn't much better.
No, Northwestern got absolutely whooped by Tulane over the weekend, and I think Northwestern's the worst team in the Big Ten, but they should handle Western Illinois pretty easily. If they don't, it might get ugly there for the guy who I forget his list. I think his last name's Braun, their new coach, their new-ish coach. He was there last year too. But Northwestern for 10. Northern Illinois at Maryland.
Got Maryland for 10.
I have Maryland for 7. I didn't watch any of their game against Florida Atlantic. But they won handily, and I think they win handily against Northern Illinois as well. Florida International at Penn State.
Penn State 17.
I have Penn State 17 as well. They won, I think it was 46-11 against Nevada over the weekend, and they look good. They actually have weapons to throw the ball to this year. I think they'll be a playoff team. I think I had them finishing second in our preseason rankings. So I have Penn State for 17. Illinois at Duke.
Illinois 5.
I have Illinois for 3. First road game, obviously, you don't learn a whole lot from your team when you play a team like Western Illinois because you're just so much more talented than they are. But Luke Altmaier looked good. Defense looked fantastic. Ran the ball well.
Fast.
They did. They
looked really fast.
Which maybe that was more so Western Illinois offense. But Gabe Akis looks like one of the best players, best defensive lineman, outside linebacker, edge rusher, whatever you want to call him, in the Big Ten. And this is an interesting test because Duke's solid. They did, however, struggle with Elon for about 3 quarters. It was not even an FBS school, but they ended up pulling away late. In fact, Elon ran all over him on Saturday. When they play. I think it was Saturday. Maybe it was Thursday night. So hopefully Illinois will be able to establish a run game early, and then Luke Altmaier can kind of take off from there. But Duke has a really good quarterback transfer from Tulane. It's not going to be easy. I saw Brett Bielema said today that it's an interesting field because they play on all natural grass, which is not something a lot of teams play on anymore. And it's supposed to be around 90 degrees in Durham. So it'll be interesting. But I have Illinois for 3. Kennesaw State at Indiana.
IU 13.
I have IU for 16. They kind of struggled against Old Dominion.
I thought so too, yeah.
They were losing a little bit in the first half, but ended up pulling away. But it still was kind of an uninspiring start to the season, but they should handle Kennesaw State real easily. Iowa at Iowa State.
I have Iowa State by 1.
Yeah, I have Iowa State for 5. Iowa's offense looked terrible again.
They look terrible, but it is a big rival.
Yeah, that's the reason why I have it so close. Iowa State's looked pretty good so far. They're 2-0. Iowa's looking for revenge, and obviously their defense is always good, but still, their quarterback, who they picked up in the portal, looked terrible. I think he started like 2 for 9 or 2 for 10. Didn't do much better the rest of the game. They were just able to kind of manhandle Albany, who I didn't even know had a football team. But
they do have a redshirt freshman, Iowa does, that looked pretty good.
I was not able to watch any of it. I just kept checking the score, and I saw they were down 7-3 in the second quarter, which is ugly. I'm sure it wasn't a real inspiring. Iowa fans did not feel too good after that, even though they won.
Well, if you like offense, Iowa's never inspiring.
Yeah, that's 100% true. You have Grambling at Ohio State.
I have OSU 18.
I have Ohio State for 18 as well. They'll win by 60 or more, I bet.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Oklahoma State at Oregon.
Oregon by 3, or Oregon 3 conference.
I have Oregon for 8. I don't know much about Oklahoma State. I don't think they're very good, though. But it was mainly just a product of there's so many more games that have blowout potentials and why I put so little on Oregon this week.
Yes.
So Northwestern State at Minnesota.
Minnesota 12.
I have Minnesota for 14. Miami of Ohio at Rutgers.
Rutgers 10. I don't really know Rutgers very well, but it seems like they should win.
I have Rutgers for 6. Middle Tennessee at Wisconsin.
8 for Wisconsin.
I have 13 on Wisconsin. They didn't look all that great against. I think they played Miami of Ohio. I think they won 17-0. So that offense still just looked bad. Their quarterback got hurt early, and they just they changed the whole system there, and it's not going very well for Luke Fickell. Michigan at Oklahoma.
I have Oklahoma for 2 confidence points.
I have Oklahoma for 2 as well. Michigan was not real inspiring against New Mexico over the weekend. They did end up winning by 17, and their true freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood looked solid, but still, you kind of want to blow out a team like New Mexico, and they didn't do it. So I think it'll be tough for them. Akron at Nebraska.
Akron at Nebraska. I have Nebraska 16.
I have Nebraska for 9. They didn't look all that great against a bad Cincinnati team over the weekend, but they did end up winning by 3, and it's because Cincinnati threw an interception, I think in the red zone or inside the 30 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't on a first down, too, so they were in field goal range, and the guy made a terrible decision to throw an interception. But Nebraska for 9. Georgia Southern at USC.
USC 14.
I have USC for 12. They beat Missouri State by about 70 over the weekend. But again, you don't learn much about your teams.
By the way, I'll pause for a second to say Cubs just walked it off.
Nice. What happened?
Kelly hit a home run.
Oh, wow. Man, he needed that. He hadn't hit a home run in a while. Man, that is a huge win. Down 6-1 in the 7th.
No, it was just a hit. It wasn't a home run.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But still, they won. To win, down 6-1.
Yeah, that's a great win.
Yeah, that's huge to come back, and maybe that's the one that gets them going. But we'll see. But yeah, huge win for the Cubs.
Definitely.
Boston College at Michigan State.
Michigan State 7.
I have Michigan State for 4. They looked okay against Western Michigan over the on Friday night. Southern Illinois at Purdue.
Yeah, I only have Purdue for 6. Only because I had to put a 6 somewhere. Yeah. Purdue looked pretty good, but again, opponents. And I don't know anything about Southern Illinois.
No, I mean, they're not even in the FBS, so Purdue should handle them. I have Purdue for 11, but that was I texted my friend. I texted Tanner and I texted Evan Webb, who's been on the show, and the rest of our friends, and I go, that is the first time Purdue has beaten an FBS opponent since Addie was born, my daughter.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Because they beat Indiana State last year, and that was it. And they're not, in the FBS or in the FCS. Right. So, but they won 31-0. I didn't really watch any. I watched the first 2 minutes, and they scored real quick, and I kind of turned it off. But they'll handle Southern Illinois easily. Yeah. UCLA against UNLV in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium.
I have UCLA 4.
I have UNLV for 1. UNLV's 2-0. I don't think they're that good, but UCLA looked like garbage at home against Utah. I think they lost by 30. Their quarterback they got, Nico Iamalevo, they got big money quarterback from Tennessee. He was horrendous. I think they're one of the worst teams in the Big Ten as well. Last game here, we have UC Davis at Washington.
Washington 15.
I have Washington for 15 as well. Elsewhere around the nation, top 25 matchups, we have not great ones this week. We do have an SEC matchup. We have Ole Miss at Kentucky. Ole Miss is a 10.5-point favorite. I think Ole Miss beats them. Let's see. Michigan, Oklahoma is easily the biggest matchup. So it's kind of a rough week. Does Notre Dame off? It looks like they're off
already. Wow.
Yeah, they are off.
I thought they go to Texas A&M, I think, next.
Yeah. They're off this week, and they go to let's see, when they play Texas A&M, and they play or Texas A&M comes to Notre Dame next week. So Notre Dame's off this week already. That's got to sting after.
That's interesting.
Losing week 1 to a top 25 opponent, then you have another top 25 opponent coming in 2 weeks. But to have an off day already, that kind of stinks. But
definitely.
It was kind of a rough week for top 25, and next week's a little better. We actually have some conference matchups in the SEC and ACC, and there's Oregon plays Northwestern next week. The next week, 2 weeks, I guess it would be. Wisconsin plays Alabama. So at least we're starting to see a little bit of conference matchups coming through.
I love the fact that Ohio State and Texas played. Love that Miami and Notre Dame play. I think it's good for football because it draws people in right away.
I do too. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams play cupcakes, and that's what Indiana's doing. No offense to Indiana. I'm sure I'll get ripped for that one, but
Iowa usually does.
Yeah, I mean
they don't play anybody other than ISU.
Iowa State's the only team they play, but usually it's teams like Albany. It's Cupcake City, so it does make it more fun. Now, I will say playing teams like that doesn't help you like it does in college basketball.
Agreed. Yeah.
So that's the issue, and hopefully they're they'll kind of change that. But that's going to do it for college football. We have 10 minutes to talk NFL, and I'm going to start it with my blind rankings. I have five Miami Dolphins Hall of Famers here, and I need you to rank them blindly for me, starting with Jason Taylor.
And Jason Taylor, I'm going to put him at 3.
All right. Jason Taylor.
It's a little scary because he's one of the best.
Yeah.
But they have so many Hall of Famers. Yeah.
Zach Thomas.
Oh, man, I would have to put him at 4.
Yeah, I'd have Taylor over Thomas as well. Dwight Stevenson.
Man, everybody says he's the best center, one of the best centers ever. I'd put him at 5.
Yeah, his career was cut short because of a cheap shot, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. New York Jets. I still remember.
Of course it was the New York Jets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 4 here I have is Larry Zonka.
Oh, Zonk. He's got to be 2.
And then last one here, I did not have Marino on the list. I have Nick Bonacani.
Oh, Bonacani. Yeah, I mean, to do it over again, I'd probably put Taylor at 1.
Yeah.
Bonacani, obviously, I have to put at 1. I'd probably flop. I'd probably put Stevenson a little higher than that and maybe Zach a little lower.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for Marino, and I didn't want to give anybody else the spot.
Yeah.
Or Greasy. Even Greasy.
Yeah, no, they've had so many. They had like Larry Little was part of that. Right. I just looked up Dolphins Hall of Famers, and like I could have put like Thurman Thomas on there because he was technically a Dolphin.
Yeah,
or
that would have been tough.
Yeah, Chris Carter I could have put on there because he was a Dolphin for a whole like 5 games or something like that. But Blind Ranking segment is brought to you by Proformer Print 2 Promo Group. For all your print needs, contact Proformer Print 2 Promo Group. We got to kind of rifle through these picks here. Our Week 1 NFL confidence picks. Starting with Thursday night, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm going to go Philadelphia 13.
I have Philadelphia for 12. I don't know where Dallas's head's going to be after Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers for pennies, really. I mean, 2 first-round picks are great in a washed-up Kenny Clark. It's Jerry Jones needs to hire an actual general manager. I think he
needs that. Yeah.
Too big of an ego to do that, but he hasn't won anything in 30 years now.
He really hasn't. Yeah. Great.
He's bad. But then game number 2, we have the Kansas City Chiefs against the LA Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Yeah, Friday I go night. Kansas City 7. I put a lot of confidence points on them because they're not playing at Charger Stadium. Yeah. So, yeah.
Which in LA, they probably would have had a ton of Chiefs fans there anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have the Chiefs for 6. So I think they handle the Chargers. Even though I think the Chargers will be good this year. Yeah. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons.
I put Atlanta for 4.
I also put Atlanta for 4. I don't know why, because I think Tampa Bay is going to win that division.
I do too.
But I think Atlanta will be better. Yeah, and that's the way Tanner and I have always done it. We're like, man, we always pick the home teams, but it's so easy to do in the NFL. Right. But it'll be an interesting season there with Kirk Cousins as QB2 and Michael Penix as the starter there. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks in his first full season as a starter. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns.
I got Cincinnati 16. I mean, they should handle them even on the road.
Yeah, I have Cincinnati for 16 as well. Cleveland has a chance to be the worst team in the NFL this year for
sure. They don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. I mean, they're starting.
They're starting Flacco week 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see all 4 at some point. Whoever they have.
They have 4.
Well, I think Pickett was traded because Terry and I were talking about it last week on the show. And I want to say he was traded. I'm going to look it up real quick because I literally said last week on the show, like, I bet they end up trading Kenny Pickett or something like that. And then right after the show, I looked, and at like 7 o'clock, they traded him. That's right. He's with the Raiders because Aiden O'Connell got hurt and he's out for a while, so he'll be the backup there. But yeah, I bet we see Gabriel at some point as a starter, and I bet we see Shadur at some point as a starter as well.
I agree.
Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts.
I put Dolphins for 5. I mean, talent-wise, Dolphins should win. They have a hard time going to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Indianapolis is going to be like with Danny Dimes. Who knows? So,
Yeah, and I have the Dolphins for 5 as well. They play this game week 5 or 6. I probably would have more on the Dolphins, but the fact
me
that
too.
it's week 1, you have to go on the road. There's like excitement in the air because it's a fresh start for everyone, and we can get off to a hot start.
Right.
But I think the Dolphins ultimately handle business there. I think they're quite a bit better than the Colts, and I know they lost there last year when they end up having Tim Boyle had to play the second half for the Dolphins,
Right.
and they still had a chance to win at the end. Of course, last year was last year, and this year this year. But give me the Dolphins in a close one. I think it'll be very close. The Vegas Raiders at the New England Patriots.
I'm going with Raiders for 8. I think they're going to be a little better than some people predict, just because they're new coach.
Yeah, and Geno's a solid quarterback, and he'll be fine there. But I go with the home teams, and for some reason I'm taking New England for 3 because I think they have a much better coach than they have in years past. Well, then I guess 1 year they had Gerard Mayo, but Vrabel there. Drake May needs a good start to the season, so give me New England for 3. Arizona Cardinals at the New Orleans Saints.
Got Arizona for 14 only because New Orleans will probably be the second worst team in the league.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if New Orleans ends up being the worst. I know they're starting the season with Spencer Rattler as their quarterback, who's bad. And I think they have a chance to be special bad this year. So I'm taking Arizona for 11. Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets.
Well, Jets, I think, will be the third worst team.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh by 15 or with 15.
I have Pittsburgh for 8. Rodgers will want to get a little bit of revenge there in New York. Yeah. I don't believe in Justin Fields at all. Pittsburgh for 8.
Yeah.
New York Giants at the Washington Commanders.
I go Washington 10.
I have Washington for 15. I don't know if I believe in them as Super Bowl contenders like everyone else is, but I think they're quite a bit better than the Giants. Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars, I think, will rebound a little. I have 11.
I have Jacksonville for 10. I think they'll be better than they were last year. I still don't know if they'll be great, but Trevor Lawrence needs a good year because he's not been very good, really, in his entire career.
You're right.
Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos.
I'm not all in on the Denver hype, but I'm taking them for 12 because they play Tennessee.
Yep, I'm taking the Broncos for 14. I think I had them 9 and 11. I think they'll be definitely in a contention for a playoff spot, but I'm not buying them as the new kings of the AFC West, like my co-host thinks. Which he says it more tongue in cheek than he does anything. But Denver for 14. San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle 9. I think it's hard to play in Seattle.
It is. I'm taking Seattle for 2. I think San Francisco will be better. They can't be worse than they were last year, but Seattle for 2. Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay 3. Detroit will lose their first game. I think Micah will help. I still don't think they'll win the division. Green Bay won't.
Well, Micah's hurt. It came out there was an injury, and he probably has to get a cortisone shot before the game. So,
wow.
But this will be the Jman's book your prediction of the week. I think the Packers do win at home, and the Lions start 0-1. And I have one confidence point. Yeah, one confidence point. Jman's book your prediction of the week brought to you by Travis Watchering Insurance Agency for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis 219-869-4561. Houston Texans at the LA Rams.
Rams 6.
I have the Rams for 9. Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo 1, only because it's at home.
I have the Bills for 7, mainly because it's at home. I think they have a chance to be very good this year. I think Baltimore will be very good as well. Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears.
I'm not buying the Bears hype, but I do have 2 on them because it's at home.
I'm not buying the Bears hype either, but I am buying the Vikings being very bad this year. But again, we don't know because their quarterbacks essentially
are rookie.
But I am taking the Bears for 13. Got about 30 seconds left, and I have birdie bogey for you. Mike Montgomery started the 10th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. However, who recorded the first 2 outs of that bottom of the 10th?
The weird thing about that is who started that game? Was it Hendricks?
It was Hendricks to Lester to Chapman.
to Chapman.
Yeah.
And then the next guy that came in was right-handed. I want to say that they used Arrieta in that role.
They did not. It was not Jake Arrieta. I think a lot of fans thought it'd be Arrieta, but he started game 6 the day before, and he went 5 or 6 innings. So it was not Arrieta. Crazy thing was, looking back, and it's wild because they didn't use Pedro Strop. They didn't use Hector Rondon. They didn't use Travis Wood. Those guys had good years for him. It was Carl Edwards Jr. Started.
That's right. Now I remember.
Started the 10th inning.
Edwards.
Yeah, the string bean slinger is what they called him.
I remember that.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
He got Jose Ramirez to ground out to short, and he got Mike Napoli to strike out, and then he walked Brandon Geyer, who then took second, and then I think it was Rajay Davis actually came in and hit an RBI single to knock him in, and then they brought in Mike Montgomery, and he got I forget the guy. But, that not many people remember that. It was Carl Edwards.
It's a good question. Very good question.
So, thanks for watching the Tan and Jman show. I will be back at it next Monday. I'm not sure yet who's going to join me, but have a fantastic week, everybody. Thanks, Dad, for joining me.
Thanks. Bye.